Army sports car racing as a whole is quite a big team, and what we get to do as serving soldiers, and that includes reservists and veterans as well, we get to represent the Army in motorsport. And as you can imagine, there's various sports across Army that everyone gets to represent. And when you're representing at Army level, that's kind of the peak, because normally you might represent at regimental level or squadron level, and it's all a pyramid. So as you can see, sort of some of the cars in the background as well, there's some of the other drivers and team cars. They compete in a series called the Armed Forces Race Challenge, which is the Army versus the RAF versus the Navy, which is really good. And then we've got the Ferrari, which is like at the top of that pyramid, where we're trying to explore into semi-professional motorsport and really showcase what the Army can do, because I like to think that we really punch above our weight for who we are. But racing in this environment this weekend is by far like the highest level we've ever had the opportunity to race at, and we did pretty well, so we're really happy and like really grateful to be here, because it's, like I say, it's phenomenal for us. We're in incredibly good company in these garages, so like Friday when I turned up, I was just pinching myself to be against, or to be sat next to such like famous cars and drivers. It's phenomenal. The car was originally sold in the US and raced in the Ferrari Challenge. It then did the Tifosi Challenge for a few years, and it was actually crash damaged down the right-hand side, and it didn't race for nearly 12 years. It was sold to the UK damaged. The guy who I bought the car from, he restored the car, but then he just wanted to kind of track day the car. Realised it was kind of too much of a car to just do track days in. I very luckily managed to buy this, and it was kind of one of those situations where the stars aligned. So I raced a different car last year, won a championship, like an endurance championship last year, which meant having the accolade on that car meant that car was worth a good bit more money. Just finished the championship, had the accolade on the car, saw this come up for sale, and it was just within reach financially, and managed to make it all work. So bought the car fully restored, but hadn't raced for 12 years. So I had to do quite a bit of work to recommission it into being a race car. This is, again, it was a huge, huge step up, both in terms of finance and in the capability of the car. You know, like I say, I'm a serving soldier, not on a huge wage, so we rely heavily on sponsorship to be able to do this. The Army helps in terms of paying for entry fees, some of the support equipment that you'll see, safety equipment, things like that.
So you're also looking for sponsors?
Always, always, yeah. And it's a great environment here, because obviously there's a lot of money here, let's say that. So hopefully someone will take notice and say, look, the Army are pretty good at this, I want to take them racing. That's what we're hoping.